First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Braden Harrington here with Davey Portman for Up Next. PostWrestling.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And of course,
live every Wednesday night, 10:15 Eastern Time, twitch.tv/upnextpodcast.
Yes, shout out the Twitch rooms. Wednesday nights after NXT, we go live here. You know why. We are NXT friends. And Thursdays, hey, you want other takes on AEW Dynamite? Well, Thursdays, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we've been going live for BD Elite as well. We're recording live on the Twitch there. So join us for these shows weekly. We've been podcasting quite a bit.
Always, yeah. We've got Shot in the Dark is up on the feed with John Cena running down everything you might have missed, everything that might have slipped through the net in the last week, including NXT Elevation.
Elevation?
Sorry, no.
NXT
AEW
Elevation,
Dark Elevation.
Velocity.
Featuring, is it Herb Abrams or Tony Khan?
Tony Khan coming out a little weird.
On something.
Yeah. Maybe we'll talk about definitely more about that. You hear about Big Show saying Justin Bieber was supposed to have a match?
I was listening to the show today.
Okay, so Big Show says that Justin Bieber agreed to do a match with Big Show, Bieber, and Cena versus the Wyatts at a SummerSlam a little while ago. And like Vince was, or someone in WWE was the one who turned it down.
Yeah, WWE said that they didn't think the WWE audience would relate to Justin Bieber, and therefore nixed it.
I'm not saying I'm a huge believer.
But it's like, hey, look, I'm not a massive Bad Bunny fan, but I get it. Like, I get it's like good to cross promote and stuff. Yeah. It's very odd. Yeah, I've almost finished that interview with Big Show. It's interesting.
I can't say I'm excited to see Big Show wrestle in AEW, but maybe we'll talk more about
the thing that
Big Show.
I think it was his conversation with Renee, where I'm the same as you. I've never been a massive Big Show fan. I can't say I'm particularly excited to watch him wrestle, but when he basically got told, we're not going to have you as a main eventer anymore. This was 5 years ago. We're not going to have you as a main eventer anymore. We're not going to have you work that much. we don't really see anything left in you, essentially.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I got these abs for nothing. He was like, back when I was smoking like 2 packs a day
Now he
and
vapes.
was 500 pounds and overweight, like I was world champion. Now I'm actually in shape and there's nothing you can do with me. And he basically was like, I just found it funny coming from Vince, because who's ever going to tell Vince McMahon to slow down? Like, I'll tell myself when to slow down.
Right.
But yeah, interesting talks. Again, just pulling the curtain back a little bit, seeing just how many people seem unhappy in WWE.
Well, it's also like maybe people don't like some of the stuff they're offered if it's not what they want. We heard Kurt Angle recently being like, yeah, they wanted me to manage Matt Riddle. Didn't want to do it. They wanted to be a coach in NXT. I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, maybe certain things aren't good enough for you that you want to do other avenues. And I can't say I'm excited to see Big Show wrestle, but I would like to see what he can bring to the table. I did not check out Elevation, but listen to Shot in the Dark.
Shot in the Dark, absolutely. Yeah. And I also have, speaking of John Cena, I have my review of last night's Impact up. New episode of Deep Impact. Highly recommend going and watching the segment between Rich Swann and Don Callis. Awesome promos from both guys, and has genuinely made me more interested in the match. I was kind of interested beforehand, but after that, it was all Don Callis basically saying that Rich Swann was one of his guys, but shiny new toys, right? There's always something shinier. And says Swann is like a once in a decade, but Kenny's a once in a millennium. And just really good stuff from both guys. So highly recommend going and checking that out if you're an AEW fan and maybe interested in that crossover they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, the champs are New Japan wrestlers as well. And, well, we also, the other night, we watched, you got me to watch Raw, kind of. I don't know what was going on in Raw. Some of the stuff, what's going on with Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman. That shit is so funny.
It's so bad, but
So
I can't,
bad.
it's like a car crash. I can't not watch it.
Yeah.
Like Shane just coming out, being all mysterious, like, is he deliberately not speaking, or is he forgetting his lines, or what's going on? I don't know, but I'm glued to it.
I think it's one of the worst things I've seen in a long time.
I gotta say, and I am honestly not joking. There's no irony in my voice here.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman, Shane McMahon is the most interesting Braun Strowman match possible for me.
Okay.
There's nothing,
Right.
no one else you could have him against that would make me interested in the slightest.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But Shane McMahon, I'm like, all right.
Shane's gonna jump off something.
Shane's gonna jump
it's gonna
off
be
of something.
prolonged to WrestleMania. Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they're meant to be fighting on Sunday.
a slime match.
We'll see. Slime match, yeah.
Well, we watched Raw, and then we put on New Japan. The New Japan Cup's going on.
Yeah.
We just did a show last week with Jake from the Windy City, a world champ patron of ours. He chose the Super J Cup from 1994, that famous New Japan show from all the way back. Highly recommend that review as well. But New Japan Cup is currently going on, and me and you decided to watch that match. Everyone seems to be talking about Will Osprey versus Zack Saber Jr., which was super
Great
crazy.
match, really good.
Just like the bloody nose, the back and forth, the trash talking. It's the one time Zack Saber Jr. wasn't quiet in this match with Will Osprey, just yelling at each other. And I'm not British, but I like when I hear two British guys fighting and yelling funny words that I like.
It's funny when it's against each other.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yeah, you would say that.
Yeah.
Sometimes when it's against American,
Yeah,
because
that's
it
what I
kind
mean.
of goes over the head, it's lost. But yeah, both of them, it was very funny.
Yeah, I really, really love that match, and I'm.
It's great.
It made me want to check out some of the other stuff.
Yeah, I've only cherry picked, but from everything I've heard, everyone's kind of feels a bit rejuvenated with New Japan, and it's been a strong tournament. I haven't seen today's matches, so I'll probably go and watch that tomorrow.
They just announced a Tokyo Dome show.
Okay.
A baseball arena show.
Yeah.
Like they're like, we missed out on some shows. We're catching up. So
I assume they must have some sort of deals with these where they're
Yeah.
getting a good price or whatever, because it does seem ambitious to do.
Dana White saw that and was like, you know what? I'm doing a show.
Yeah.
And I'm filling it with people in Florida. And that's why WrestleMania tickets are delayed, I think. Because
Till
they're like,
Friday,
they're
I
like,
believe.
I wonder how many more people we could get in
I
there.
think so, yeah, it sounds like that.
So very, very interesting. I know we mentioned John Cena, Shot in the Dark. But we also did a show with him this week, and it dropped yesterday, a little early for your St. Patrick's Day vibes. Yes, happy St. Patrick's Day. We did a review of Leprechaun.
Oh, yes.
I'm a leprechaun.
That St. Patrick's Day classic.
The classic, which now we've started every St. Patrick's Day. We're going to go through the leprechauns. We haven't even asked John but John, now
he's down. He's down. I know he's down.
I just want to get to Leprechaun in the
But
Hood.
also, this St. Andrew's Day, this November, more importantly, you're like burying the lead here.
Yeah,
We're going to review a film called
Loch Ness,
starring,
Ted Danson.
yes, star of the Twitch himself, Ted Danson. What happened on Monday?
I don't know. We were smoking on one of them funny cigarettes. We went on a little tangent about Ted Danson. A little dancing. And we decided that there's all these like folklore tales about like leprechauns and stuff. And you want to hear the history of St. Patrick's Day and leprechauns and all that spooky stuff. Listen to this leprechaun review on our Patreon because it was super fun and great to talk all about the Irish and Lucky Charms and everything. And
Braden doing his best non-offensive Irish
impression
throughout.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. It's in my blood. I people think I'm more Irish than I am anything else, and I'm a good little Sprite remix. But people always think I'm just Irish. But which I'm part Irish. But today I got my Guinness and I got my Jameson just to be in the mood. We recorded a behind the BDE for World Champs today. In our backyard.
Oh yeah, we were outside.
We were outside today, so today was a good day. So that'll be dropping for World Champs probably on Friday. I'll put it out. But we've been podcasting so much.
Yeah, we're joined by another world champion this week, Thomas Mulligan. We're going to go back in time to talk all about NXT Takeover London. That's going to be dropping this weekend, headlined by Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. Really great show and great crowd that we're going to talk all about. And don't forget to subscribe to the Twitch, twitch.tv/upNXTpodcast. Every Friday, John Cena and Mike go on there, the other guys, and do a bit of a TV movie chat. Now, this week's big. We've got the debut of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and all the Oscar nominations are coming out. So 6:30 Eastern Time on Friday for that. And then stay on to watch SmackDown. Join us for the watch-along. And I'm pretty sure I know already we're going to be rewatching Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns from Fastlane 2015 this Friday to get us all geared up for the main event this Sunday. It's our Fastlane watch-along.
Yeah, come hang out with Davey and watch Fastlane. I decided it's not worth taking a vacation day off work, saving that for Mania. So it's Roman versus Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, shall we? We'll quickly do. There aren't that many matches announced, so we've got a rematch: Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair for the tag titles. Are they going to do the kind of Shawn Cena thing and put the titles on Sasha and Bianca?
Do it.
Maybe. I think seeing that we're doing this match a second time, perhaps that's what's happening, and maybe that's why they needed to create NXT tag titles.
Right.
We've got Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan with either Edge or Jey Uso as the special guest enforcer.
Jey Uso versus Edge this Friday, right? Yeah. I think we're obviously going to get Edge versus Roman Reigns, but from what I gather and seeing little things here and there, they inadvertently made me more interested in like a Daniel Bryan story again.
I think
like they did it again.
I think honestly they've already achieved what they need to do with this pay-per-view. With the pay-per-view so close to WrestleMania, you need to put that seed of doubt in your head that plans could change. Now, obviously, Roman Reigns versus Edge seems like the match, but Daniel Bryan's just the perfect person to put in that position. And the idea of a Bryan-Edge match is really interesting to me as well. I see Roman Reigns walking out the champ here, but I think they've done a really nice job building this because I am intrigued and I would like to see Bryan win it.
You know, there's someone I wish was wrestling at Fastlane or WrestleMania. Andrade.
Yeah.
Pour a little out? Not quite yet.
Not quite yet.
Leave the memories alone. You know, he was watching AEW tonight.
Yeah,
he's watching the New Japan
Well,
Cup.
Shall we? Let's quickly finish this.
Oh, sorry.
We've only said 2 matches.
I really don't care about Fastlane, honestly. I will definitely check out Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, but everything you just said, I already forgot. It sounds like a really mid show.
Well, we've got Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton.
I stand so corrected.
Yeah, that's actually been announced. Alexa Bliss, Randy Orton.
Yeah. maybe Soldier Boy was right. What happened to wrestling, man? I saw the ooze coming out of his mouth, everything, and she challenged him to a match. Let's go.
Well, Brayden doesn't care, so let's talk about Andrade. He put in his notice, it got denied, so he's just doing fuck all.
So now he's fucked and in this limbo here?
I assume so, yeah.
Oh, man, that's crazy. Considering this guy, like, I feel like you kind of feel for him. He's been put in these positions. I really thought his feud with Rey Mysterio was gonna, like, I don't know, elevate him. I thought his matches with Rey Mysterio were great.
There were talks of like a masked versus hair match and
Crazy
stuff like that,
stuff.
but nothing.
You'd figure, and I know, like, obviously he's in a relationship with Charlotte. They're very public about it. And, like, she is Mrs. WWE. She's signed on for that show, the Walking Tall show with her in it, which I'm, like, kind of down to watch, I think. I don't know. And I'm just like, man, you do deserve better, because I feel like maybe he's the kind of guy who just enjoys wrestling and maybe putting on, like, the artistry of it, right? And there's certain types of people like that, and I feel like we're being held back of watching such great classics, like another Gargano versus Almas.
It's bizarre, yeah. It seems the kind of Paul Heyman guys are being completely forgotten about.
Is he a Paul Heyman guy?
Well, the people Paul Heyman was pushing was Buddy Murphy, Andrade, Angel Garza, Aleister Black. What are any of them doing right now?
And look at, they're all super talented people.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They could be the main highlights of these shows right now, and they're not. It's just crazy. Andrade's one in NXT, he like was there for a little while and didn't quite find his groove, and then all of a sudden like something clicked, and it was just like
Zelina.
It was amazing. Yeah, and she's gone too. Yeah. So, maybe they team up again somehow if he eventually gets out of WWE and goes somewhere else. I'm not necessarily saying Andrade needs to show up in AEW. I'm way more interested in him joining LIJ in New Japan with Naito.
Yeah, I actually think New Japan, at least maybe for now. Yeah. Obviously, travel and stuff is still tricky, but I think for Andrade, maybe doing. And who's ROH champion right now? It's still Rouge, right?
Yeah.
So there we go. Andrade, Rouge, who are both from the same faction as well, right?
It's just crazy.
I would say AEW's flooded right now. I think New Japan and ROH need some attention, and maybe that's a better fit for Andrade for now.
Yeah, I just want to watch the guy wrestle. Yeah. We've talked about our love for Andrade versus Gargano and Chill on this show quite a few times, and it's just like, this guy is capable of so many things, but there's so many matches I would love to see him tie up with so many different characters out there right now that are not in the WWE, because I feel like he could be this rogue guy that becomes such a big star not in the WWE, and maybe like how even if Charlotte stays there, obviously it's interesting, but I hope we get to see, maybe this pushes them to maybe go forward, create this star that they clearly have right here.
Hopefully. I mean, we have seen sometimes when people have asked for their release and they've been then featured a bit, but I don't know. I don't know how long he's got left on his contract. I'm trying to look that up now, but can't quite find it. But yeah, obviously a bit disgruntled and one of our NXT favorites there, so I don't care where I see him as long as he's wrestling. I just want to be able to see him wrestle.
I want to see him being able to put on matches like he can put on.
Absolutely,
I feel like he's a main event kind of guy. What was his name? La Sombra? Yeah, he can just go by that again.
Yep.
Or Cien. Yeah. Just Cien.
Andy Cien.
Almas. Right? He dropped Cien Almas. He was just Andrade, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cien Almas.
Cien Almas.
There you go. Pour some out for Andrade. I hope to see him soon. And obviously, news with wrestling people. We're a show that cover NXT, and they take place from the Capitol Wrestling Center. But we were all worried tuning in tonight. Would it be the COVID Wrestling Center? All the news of this like potential outbreak, and some people maybe perhaps missing from the show, which we would then later tonight see lots of people missing from this show. And we're not ones to speculate and stuff, but maybe it's precautions, maybe it's safety measures. Who knows?
Sure, who's been in contact with who or that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, we're getting very close to TakeOver, very close to WrestleMania. This time last year, Roman Reigns walked out on the biggest match potentially on that card, him versus Goldberg, because he didn't feel safe. And obviously these things happen, but from watching some of these people on Instagram and stuff, I don't think they're taking it seriously enough.
Yeah.
So, take it seriously. Obviously, things are gonna happen. Like, people, you can catch it from anything, but we've got to be more careful here. And yeah, looking at certain parties going on and things like that on Instagram, I think NXT need to kind of be a bit careful.
Yeah, especially with this whole big weekend. Big weekend. It's a whole week of wrestling.
Yeah.
People, wrestling fans. We have week full. Every night there's multiple
It's wrestling week. Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
You've got to fill 2 cards. You can't fill 2 cards if your talent's poorly.
Yeah.
Or isolated.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
whatever.
One change of this could swiftly affect, the show.
And obviously nothing, like, we don't know any names or anything, but there were some notable absences tonight, and I did think it affected the show.
Yeah, I think so. It just was, there was parts that were just weird. That definitely
It was padded. Like, a lot of matches had a bit longer than usual, I felt today.
Yeah.
Or matches that wouldn't normally get given time had time and that kind of thing.
But, like, maybe there's people, whether you're in NXT and you're working with all these people who are not signed, or, like, there's that story about people moving the rings or something like that with no masks or whatever. It's like, then don't some of these people then hang out with the WWE people and AEW roster mismatch.
Yeah.
It's like, it can spread like that. Isn't that how that works? So they got to definitely be careful. With a whole week of programming, that's
only a couple of weeks away.
Yeah, so 2 takeovers, like one on USA the Wednesday night. We'll be doing a watch along for that, and then Thursday night we'll be doing a watch along and a post show for that. So it's takeover, stand and deliver. I'm yours.
We're yours, baby.
Yeah, we will be yours. But I mentioned there's a whole week of wrestling, but we're not talking about the big show, not that big show, the bigger show. A week before WrestleMania. Saturday.
Oh, yes.
April 3rd.
Yes.
You may have heard on a show called Rewind to Raw. And, well, they mentioned us on this show.
Yeah, we're going to be live. Time, I think, is still to be determined.
Right.
But we're going to be doing a live episode of Up Next. And you know our show, Best Match Ever. Well, it's time to start talking about the worst match ever. So we are going to be looking at the worst matches in WrestleMania history to get us all in the mood for the big show.
Well, maybe the big show will be talking about his match.
Maybe we'll be talking about the big show.
Yes. Post-Wrestling Podcast Day, April 3rd. Yes, we are part of the Post-Wrestling family. Shout out John Pollock and Wei Ting. I miss you guys. And we're going to be doing a 1-hour show. And yes, like you mentioned, worst match ever, WrestleMania. So me and you are going to have to make a list of the worst matches.
We put out a tweet yesterday being like, let's have suggestions.
Yeah.
And then as the names started coming in of matches, I just went, oh, why did we choose to do this?
Why did we agree
These are horrible.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, Big Show Akibono. He's like, oh.
Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. It will be on Zoom. You'll be able to drop in. It should be a really fun day. So
can't wait to do that. So join the Post Wrestling Cafe and their Patreons and our Patreons as well. Like we mentioned, we're doing so many shows. Patreon.com/upNXT to access all the shows in our back catalog. Every shows we plug every week. Only $5 a month, North American tier, and it gets you the Leprechaun, the best matches ever, the Was Next, everything, Takeover London review, all that stuff, all only for $5. And we're moving in a month, so patreon.com. $5 really helps us.
I'm very proud of our new World Champ show that's going to drop any day now.
If you ever thought, hey, why don't I throw these guys? Why don't I be insane and be a world champ for $25? You can get access to Behind the BDE, join us for watch-alongs, and then also come on for an episode of Up Yours and select stuff for us to review with you and such. But this Behind the BDE coming out is a doozy. That's for sure. We get into some serious things.
Hear me get all awkward trying to talk about cancel culture. That's all I'm saying. It's a bad time to have that joint. I was just like, I am not. Oh,
yeah.
I can't do this now.
Yeah, that's.
But you know what I can do right now?
What's that?
Talk about NXT.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, NXT from Wednesday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patty's Day. You hear that? you people over there? Happy St. Patty's Day.
It's okay. I edited it.
We go to start off with our NXT champion, who happens to be very Irish. He comes out, the Fighting Irish, Finn Balor. He says he's really pumped.
Oh, he was on something.
He must have been on the JMO earlier here. He says, "Happy St. Patrick's Day, and I'm still champion." He says, "Kyle O'Reilly, beat him. Pete Dunne, beat him. Adam Cole, I beat him." He's so aggressive.
He's so intense.
I love him.
I do like it, but it does make me laugh because I'm just like, whoa, dude, like, chill.
I beat him.
I'm just sitting down. I'm just listening. And also, the way he holds his mic, you know he's the kind of guy that holds his gun sideways.
Well, yeah, he does when he poses.
He does.
Yeah.
But, yeah, holding his mic like that as well.
Yeah. He's
just
cool.
Chill.
He's really...
We're okay. We're here for a good Wednesday, Finn.
He says he beat Kyle, he beat Dunn, he beat Cole. There's only one man left to face. Kona Reeves.
Yes.
No.
Oh.
Karrion Kross. He says it's time. Stand and deliver. Your time is up. Kross's music hits. He comes out with Scarlett. And they say this entire situation was never supposed to happen. And now that we've settled our separate affairs, says Kross, now it's time. Me and you, the NXT universe needs to know who the real champion is. The real champ. And Finn says, well, I'll say what no one else has the balls to say. You walk like a champ, you talk like a champ. The problem is Finn Balor's champ. So you don't have what it takes to beat me. So now this match is set up officially for Stand and Deliver, Finn versus Kross. And he says to Finn that I'm going to squeeze all the oxygen out of your skull and choke you out. And you're going to know what that feels like. But Finn says, well, you're going to know what it feels like to be in the main event of TakeOver and choke. What he should have said is, again.
It kind of, I didn't write down the line, but he said something before that already kind of hinted at that match.
Right.
So yeah, I definitely think that was the implication here, was like, your last main event sucked.
Yeah.
And you're going to choke again. You're not going to do it this time.
B-Rabbit, choke. Yeah. So this sets us up, but Scarlett interjects and says, well, I've already seen it in the cards. This right here. 2 champions, both draped in gold, and the world will be in awe. And then all you hear is, oi, oi. Out comes Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan. And they say, hey, there's only real champs around here, and it's us, the tag team champions. And Pete Dunne, who's not here, is the best technical wrestler, and he deserves another shot. So Scarlett then puts her black magic woman hex on these 2 guys and walks around them, caressing their shoulders, and says, well, hey, why don't you show the world that you're not cowards, boys? So if you're that confident, put the title on the line against Finn and Kross. So Danny Burch says, all right, use 2 tonight. And then Scarlett says, everything happens for a reason. You can't change fate. And that's our main event tonight. Tag team titles on the line.
Yeah, a couple of things here. I thought it was a good job just setting up this match. Just get it out there. We know what the match is going to be. Like, start telling the story now. I thought they did a good job of just jumping right in there. I thought just the visual of Kross in his WWE t-shirt with Scarlett seemed weird. It didn't seem... I didn't get any spooky vibes from Kross. And therefore, when Scarlett started being spooky, it didn't work for me at all. It felt like, imagine Goldberg being out there cutting a promo and then the Fiend Alexa Bliss is running around him. It just didn't go together. Once you've got them in, like, his more leather jacket or whatever, I think it works. This didn't at all. And again, just like, this is one of many times tonight where I just thought the tag champs looked like mugs.
This is the first time they look like geeks tonight, because they definitely do later on, and for maybe different reasons. But I really liked Finn Balor's promo. I think this Finn Balor is one of my favorite guys on the mic, just to go at it, and just his aggression is something. The way he delivers things is beyond. I think he could say anything really, and it would come across really strong. He's improved 100%. He is a fighting champion and a character that I definitely love to watch on the screen. And I still want to give Karrion Kross his chance, but it's something's not working. Yeah, it's like she's all spooky and he's like just in his new shirt.
Yeah,
it's like
I think there's something there that I know you didn't watch Game of Thrones, but Melisandre and Stannis Baratheon, where it's like basically this witch and one of the kings, but you feel the whole time she is manipulating everything, manipulating him, manipulating all the situations. And I kind of liked her setting up the match. It just seemed weird because he just seemed like a bloke. And I think if we started to have her kind of maybe poisoning him more, it might work for me. But the act isn't really working for me.
It came in halfway. She just comes in and it changes
I think the entrance is cool. Like, I think visually that's cool, but there's a disconnect when it comes to this. I think maybe don't have cross talk. If Scarlett is the one who's just manipulating everything and has somehow managed to get a title match with Finn, and then tonight even being able to get a tag title match as well, I don't think Cross really needs to say much.
Yeah.
Just look scary and maybe don't wear a WWE shirt. It just looks...
I tell you what it looks
geeky.
Like. It looks like these two are a WWE act. And maybe not so much this show that we're used to watching. I still think of NXT as this wrestling show. And this was going in that direction, and it kind of got a little too hokey for me. I mentioned I don't like the Randy Orton, Alexa Bliss stuff. And it seems like they're going in that kind of direction. And I'm just like, all right. Like, it's kind of going between the lines there. You could say she didn't actually put a hex on these guys. She's just like taunting them, like, hey, if you think you're tough, put the titles on the line. But the fact that she said right before they came out that I see the future of two people wearing titles, I said to you out loud, okay, so this means like they're gonna have a title match, and then this goes that way. It's like, well, that's kind of silly. Like, can we just get to who's a better wrestler? That's really an easy story to do, and you don't need to get all spooky and ridiculous. I just want to see if you can wrestle.
I agree.
Like, that's why I like this show, and it was kind of all over the place. And maybe they're trying to, fix something pretty quickly. I don't know.
I wonder if it's to build to the demon, which we haven't seen for a long time, but maybe Cross is the one to bring it out for.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Like it's
WrestleMania week. It's a takeover. You've got this spooky enchantress who's manipulating you. Obviously, at the end of the show, there's the big beatdown. It could be maybe the return of the demon, perhaps.
I just I would rather see. I wish that they're going in the direction of the 2-night title thing. I feel like that would be cooler, but whatever. We can wait for that. So more on that title match, tag team title match later tonight. We have our next match. Dexter Lumis comes down to the ring. I know you're excited. And before he has his match with Austin Theory, who's backstage, he's waiting to go wrestle in his match. He's in a X-Men outfit, essentially. The Way is turned into the X-Men.
Yeah.
What if Austin Theory was an X-Men? What would he be?
What would he be? Gambit?
Oh
no,
definitely
no. He's not cool enough for Gambit.
No.
He's
Morph.
Can't think who Morph.
Morph is only in the cartoon, and in the first episode he dies. And Wolverine's really sad about it.
Oh, maybe Bobby, the
Iceman?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, this X-Man is on his own because Johnny Gargano.
Sorry, I type in Google Bobby, and it just
you just search Bobby.
It just auto fills it to Bobby Fish QAnon.
Yeah, he wasn't on the show tonight either.
Just gonna fact check sometimes,
Bobby Fish, Oprah. Oprah eats kids.
Yeah.
Back to the show. So I just don't want to talk about this. Austin Theory realizes The Way, Johnny and Candice and everyone aren't there. Instead, he's on an iPad and he's on FaceTime where the Garganos are at home and they're like, hey, yeah, you got this. Go wrestle Dexter Lumis. I know we mentioned that there's people just not on this show and, maybe safety precautions and stuff because there was the stories of an outbreak and such. And I'm not trying to speculate, but even if they're not there, he doesn't know where they are. That's all you had to do.
Yeah.
Didn't need them to go on the iPad. I think that's the lamest stupidest looking thing. And you remember when Regal was with the iPad and stuff? It sucks. The audio comes off shit. You can't hear what they're saying.
I agree with you about the audio. I don't mind so much. It just keeps them as a presence, and they kind of explained where Theory just got this gear from, but I'm indifferent, to be honest. Could have it either way, but I think they do need to try and fix the audio if they are going to do this.
It's just weird. It's just have him like not sure where they are, and then he has his match, and then.
But then wouldn't you say, well, if you don't know where they are, why don't you call them?
And then he calls them after the fact.
Right.
So I don't know. It was just weird. But we go to the match. Dexter Lumis, Austin Theory. They start off, but we go to break right away. When we come back, Theory's in control. Hits a standing flying elbow drop there, which looked cool. There's a roll through the ropes from Theory, but he ends up getting caught into a spine buster from Lumis. Lumis does a fire up here where he does a kip up, and then there's roll ups back and forth. There's a pop up into the air. Theory is sent, but ends up eating an uppercut. There's then Lumis, who clearly is a big fan of Tully Blanchard wrestling on AEW Dynamite, who does the slingshot suplex here.
Yeah, I think he just loves the brain busters. He did a nice
Spine
A spine buster.
Yeah.
He had this slingshot suplex. Yeah.
Theory does this like running low forearm and then hits the leg hook. I call it the Sushi Goroshi. It's also like the Kenny Omega move, which I still couldn't realize what the move was, but I looked it up. Is it the Ao Shodo? I'm pronouncing it wrong, but yeah, this move looks cool. But Lumis kicks out. Lumis comes back and slaps Theory up and then offers him his hand. And Theory's taken aback a bit, like, what? You're offering me your hand? He says, well, you said all those nasty things about me, Dexter. I knew they were wrong. I knew you're a good guy. I knew you wouldn't do that, Dexter. And then he hugs Dexter Lumis. Lumis goes for the silence, but it's blocked. Theory goes for his TKO, but that's blocked into the side effect and the silence, and it's over. Dexter Lumis wins this match. Give me all your thoughts about this match that took place here tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Dexter Lumis, like, just as soon as he comes out, I groan. I know I'm going to get a Dexter Lumis match, and I'm going to be a little bit bored. I do think, like, watching him, there are good things about him. He does do some kind of... I do like his fire up. I thought some of the moves he hit looked nice. Like, I don't think he's terrible, but I can't see him doing anything more than this. I think this is it. This is the level you're going to get from Dexter Lumis, is this match. And when you just throw on top of that just the stupidness of this character, this stupid the way stuff, which is just doing my head in, and then there's just so much exposition going on in the match. The dialogue, they've got to just spell out every single syllable of the story to their audience. That's what you've got a commentary team for. You can use subtleties and hope your audience picks up on it, and hope the commentary kind of spell it out to those of us who don't. It seems to have been something that started with the empty arena, because obviously it was so quiet that wrestlers would be talking to each other more during the match. And now we've just got whole scenes going on.
A hug, a handshake.
Yeah, it's like, trust, I can understand. Like, I've been following the story. You don't have to do as much of this. You don't have to do... But you are making fun of my abs, Dexter Lumis. I thought we were friends, and now we're not friends. And now you're offering your hand to shake me? I don't trust you. It's like, yeah, mate, I get it. I've been watching the show. You don't need to spell it out so much. I fucking hate this.
So you love Dexter Lumis?
It's not. It's just the combination of all of this.
Yeah.
All of it. I think there are some tweaks maybe you can make to Dexter to make him a bit more interesting for me. As I said, I don't think he's the drizzling shits. I just don't think he's particularly exciting, and I don't see anything progressing from this. I don't see me going, you know what, I was wrong. This guy is actually pulling out killer matches. I see him at this 2.5, maybe 3-star tops position permanently.
Look, there's definitely maybe a future with Theory. I think when we watched him in Evolve, when we watched him get to NXT here, we were like, back in the day, like, hey, he has something definitely. And this isn't doing it for me. We go from watching a witch in the beginning to this guy who's supposed to be a psycho killer, murderer, kidnapper thing. Like, come on. Again, Let me reiterate. I like professional wrestling. I don't like this.
The character might be cool, but you got to think of all the other people around it, and it always brings down people. What do we say about the Fiend? You're in a feud with the Fiend, and it's just death. Because what can you do? Yeah. And it's same with Dexter, and it could potentially be the same with Cross and Scarlett as well.
Like, it wasn't even like the worst match ever, to be honest.
It's like technically watching the match, it's fine.
Yeah,
but
there's others. We could put other stars on the show, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I feel like
could we this week?
Right. It just feels like Loomis it feels like it's the same same thing every time.
It is. Yeah. And then we're going to find the next, LA Knight next will be the next cowardly heel going up against him, and it'll be the same story.
We go to Mackenzie Mitchell backstage, and she's celebrating St. Paddy's Day in a great green dress. Champa interrupts here and is like, hey, Thatcher isn't here. Don't know what happened to him. It seems like he got taken out or something. And have you seen Alexander Wolf around here lately? So instead of Champa and Thatcher in the tag against Imperium, seems like Ciampa's going to do a singles match tonight.
Okay, so get this. We've already pointed out we like the idea of these people feuding, or at least I think I'm speaking for both of us. But Imperium, Thatcher, Ciampa, cool guys who can put on some killer matches. We know Timothy Thatcher was in ring camp with some of these guys. We know that, but we haven't been told on TV yet. They've just assumed we know it. After that last segment where they're spelling out everything, they just assume we know about WXW and ring camp.
That's true.
Here. And now on top of that, they're just explaining people that aren't even fucking there because who knows? But Timothy Thatcher's not here, so maybe he might have been taken out, perhaps. And I can't find Alexander Wolf either, so I'm putting two and two together. I'm like, what is going on? What is this story?
This whole show
they're just trying to explain crazy. People that aren't there, and did this attack happen?
We're gonna get into more of it because this is not the first. This is not the only time they mentioned it a bunch about the Thatcher thing. This whole show feels like a milk carton with missing people on it.
I was going to say it's like a Chekhov play. In Chekhov plays, all the action happens off stage, and it's normally the characters talking about it. So if Masha died or whatever, you don't see Masha die; she's just dead off stage. And this felt like the whole show. Yeah. It's someone got ran off the road earlier. Thatcher got attacked. Really it's like, weird. What's happening? But we're not seeing any of this. It was very bizarre.
So more on that later. But Adam Cole, baby, is in the ring. He says, last week, Kyle, you made it clear that now I'm mad at you. I wasn't mad at you before. I just don't like you. And I kicked you out. I wasn't mad at you. I just don't like you. But you've made the biggest mistake of your life. You little punk. Deep down in your heart and your soul, you're jealous of me, Kyle, because you know you'll never be as successful as me. So now you've written your own death warrant. And I don't give a damn if you're medically cleared, but Kyle, bring your ass out here. And William Regal comes out and says, Cole, last week Kyle was not cleared and he wasn't supposed to be here, but he still showed up and further damaged his neck. And I can promise you he's banned from this arena here tonight. He's not here, which definitely made me go, oh my God, don't tell me more people are not here, Regal. Jeez, especially Kyle. Please don't get me upset like this. He says he's not here, and it's probably for your safety, Adam, because if he was here, I did not like that line. It's for your safety, Adam. But then it just randomly cuts to the Tron, and it's Kyle who sent in this video, or he's on the call here, and he's getting in a car. And he's like, hey, I won't rest until I end you. Adam, you tried to end my career. You ended an 11-year friendship. And, well, I know where you live. I know where you go. I know where you buy your video games. So I'm coming. And it's a threat. I thought this was a little weird. And Cole's just like, well, now you're threatening me? Oh, well, not if I find you first. And you're like, okay, so someone is not here. Kyle's just not here. Okay. But then they mention he's not here. Then they mention like now they're like we're gonna find each other and hurt each other. And more on that later.
Again, I mean, I think after already seeing the Johnny and Candice thing, I think you see another video, you just assume Kyle's not there. But because they did it in a weird setting and everything, but Cole just goes running off. I don't know. This was okay, but really, considering the history these two have going into this just felt very odd. And if you do have Kyle there, I don't know why you do all this weird backstage stuff.
Yeah, like, is Kyle getting in a car to drive there? Is he getting in an Uber? What is he doing here to go there? But he wasn't there, and they tell us he's not here. And so I guess more on that a little bit later, because we will go back to that. Trust me, it's like an episode of Cops. We go to Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon, the new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. And I know you got excited because we get a little video of them celebrating, and Shotzi got to celebrate
With my dad!
with her dad. Yes, you know why?
Because I was raised by my dad!
Because she was raised by her
Yeah.
dad. Yeah. Earlier today, Shotzi on the NXT Instagram put up 2 different T-shirts and said, "Vote on what I'll wear tonight." And the one I voted for won because here she is wearing the Fly.
Okay.
Yeah.
She needs a raised by my dad t-shirt, really, doesn't she?
I think we need a raised by you get one that says I was raised by my dad, and I'll get one that says I was not raised by my dad. Shotzi's looking mad fly like Jeff Goldblum. Shout out Gina Davis. And they're saying we're the champions. But before they can even really cut a promo, they are interrupted by Aaliyah, Robert Stone brand, and Jesse. So the Robert Stone brand with Robert Stone and Jesse Kamea. They say you guys could lose just like that. And to be honest, those would look a lot better on us. So how about you put them on the line next week? So they say, hey, you're on next week. And then as they're leaving, they say, hey, Robert, by the way, your suit sucks. And he's so upset.
Rude.
It was really mean. It was actually a really nice suit.
Yeah, he always looks great.
NXT, whoever's the stylist, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
They're not on the level of the AEW stylist, to be completely honest, because sometimes...
there's some questionable fashion on AEW.
Yeah,
though.
but I find like a guy like... We always praise Santos here on NXT.
Yes.
I feel like that's him. I feel like he's going and
completely.
buying that. He's not... no one's telling him to buy that Riddler suit and stuff. He's doing that. Whereas... His suit, I think Robert Stone picks out his own suits. I would trust him.
Yeah, I can see him wearing these.
Yeah. I always talk about Robert Stone not wearing socks with his loafers. And I know we got in crazy heat when we talked about not wearing socks with your flip-flops and your slides out in public. Was that on BD Elite?
No, I'm saying you shouldn't wear socks with slides.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All I know is they did a weigh-in for the Cruiserweight title match on NXT UK with Trent Seven.
Yeah.
And he's basically like just in his like his trunks.
Right.
But then he's got those like tiny little socks that you put on in those loafers.
Yeah,
You know those ones.
the ankle socks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, they're like these are not ankle socks. These are
Right.
like just enough to cup your
Okay.
It doesn't even go up the full ankle. And it made me feel uncomfortable. Yeah.
You know what I just realised watching this? Is Kamea just playing Vanessa Bourne here? Whatever happened to Vanessa Bourne? Because this would be her role, right?
Where's Vanessa Bourne?
She's still with the company, I believe.
Where's Vanessa Bourne?
Where is Vanessa Bourne?
She's born to be
WH's favourite.
Yeah, WH and Raquel.
Yeah.
Wow, Vanessa Bourne. What happened to her?
I don't know, but Kamea's just playing Vanessa Bourne here, isn't she?
So this match is next week. This could be fun. I think this will be an alright match. I'm so far with the
It could go either way, honestly. With these 4, it really could go either way. I'm hoping it's good.
Maybe Vanessa Bourne does the run-in and they get new champs again.
Maybe. Let's do it.
Every week the title
Let's just flip it.
like
Let's take this title really, really seriously.
The NXT never open weight.
Yeah. Bourne was apparently called up to the main roster January 2020.
What?
Okay.
No, she wasn't. Come
Yeah.
on, don't lie.
According to Wikipedia, main
shouldn't
roster
trust Wikipedia.
2020 to present.
Anyone can edit it. You don't trust it.
Upon re-signing her contract.
Wow. Aaliyah just moved on.
Yeah.
She's like, I need a new friend. I need a new tag team. So after this, we get a shot of a red Ferrari showing up. It is some would say is the Cruiserweight champion. Some would definitely not say he's the Cruiserweight champion. Jordan Devlin shows up. He's here because of this whole Cruiserweight champion versus champion. More on that in a bit because the Cruiserweight champions, again, out here coming out. Legado del Fantasma with Santos Escobar, the Cruiserweight champion. Yes, that sounds confusing because there's a few. But again, he's looking mad fly here as well.
Always.
Always fresh. LDF are going up against Breezango. And this starts off with LDF like kind of beating down on Fandango until Raul gets dropped off the top with this like backflip into like an enziguri. We go to commercial break. When we come back, it's the baddie still working down on Fandango, but Breeze finally tags in. There's flying kicks to Wild, and then turns this like slip up into this single leg Boston Crab here, just like Lance Storm, looking good. And then Fandango comes in with like this flying knee off the apron. Mendoza breaks up a near fall here, but they throw Fandango to the outside and then hit Breeze with this, I know you loved it, a side Russian leg sweep Gamengiri type move.
Yeah,
like the
kick
last
to the face. With
last chapter style kind of move.
Great move.
Are you happy that you got to see a side Russian leg sweep as a finish?
They've used this before.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's marvelous. More people need to do this. I need to see if we can get Cassius Ohno on the show.
Yes.
To do best side Russian leg sweep ever.
We should just do a show where we just nerd out with him for a little while.
Over the side Russian leg sweep?
Just in general, over like different things. That could be a thing.
We
have a list.
I honestly think Cassius Ohno is that
show?
much of a wrestling kind of nerd and brain that you could do an hour show about one move with him. I reckon you could, and it could be interesting.
For anyone wondering, yeah, he just recently put out this little like blurb video or podcast. He does a podcast now about how the side Russian leg sweep is like underutilized. It should be, someone needs to bring it back.
Yeah.
So, well, here's a finish.
It's good.
Right here. So Legado del Fantasma beat Breezango, and right after the match, Santos grabs the commentary like microphones and microphone here. He says, "Look, my team wins. Where is this guy everyone talks about? Where is Devlin?" And Jordan Devlin comes out. He says, "Well, you've been running around here saying this and that and claiming you're the champion. I want you to take a good look at what a real champion looks like. And I don't need to jump you from behind. And I told the whole world that I don't need stooges to do it for me either." So Santos tells his boys, Wild and Mendoza, "Hey, back off. I got this." He goes in the ring and he goes face to face. The Cruiserweight champion holding his Cruiserweight. This is like the Spider-Man meme. Like, wait a second.
I did laugh before Joaquin and Raul went, when Devlin's music hit. Santos was like facing the announce table and Joaquin's like going, "Hey, Santos, it's here." It's like, I'm sure he can hear the music. He's probably aware. He's like, Santos, look, Santos, it's Jordan Devlin, Santos. Yeah.
So Jordan Devlin, Santos Escobar, face to face. Devlin says, "The ace is back in town, so take that replica title and throw it in the trash. The guy you're filling in for is back." And Santos is like, "Whoa, excuse me. You're the guy everyone forgot who even had this title in the first place. So why don't you wrap up your business in the UK and face me, the Emperor of Lucha Libre." Not quite the Lord of Lucha Libre like Penta from AEW, but that's okay.
Has he called himself this before?
I think so,
yeah.
And says, "Jordan Devlin, Santos Escobar, let's stand and deliver. Irish Ace, Santos, we will settle this." And they agree to put champion versus champion, an undisputed cruiserweight title championship match here. And Devlin headbutts him, then wrist control and hits him with the Devlin side, the like backdrop suplex here, and then escapes while Legado del Fantasma like come to the aid of Santos, who is bleeding from like the mouth or something.
Yeah. As Matty B says in the ring, bloodied him good.
Yeah, he did. So obviously we've mentioned this before. There's we feel a ways sometimes talking about certain people on certain shows, but I'm just going to talk about what I saw on the show tonight. I'm not the one who booked this. I'm just talking about a show that I talk about every week. I thought this makes me want to watch this match. They did a really good job of this promo, and yeah.
I thought both guys sounded good. I found it interesting that they were piping in kind of cheers, like trying to position Devlin as the baby face here. but definitely the people in the crowd seemed, at least to me, I don't know if you agree, but seemed a bit more pro Santos. And I would think for the benefit of the match, maybe you start... I feel, to me, Santos is a tweener anyway.
Yeah.
At the moment, following that cross feud. I think you should maybe push that a bit, especially with this match might be difficult for some people to watch. I think Santos here looks... Getting headbutted here and stuff, I thought he looked like the babyface to me in this segment. But I did think both did a good job at making me interested for the match. And I think it will be a good match. But I'm just loving this Santos Escobar character recently. And honestly, if he just had that surprise win over Cross, like, he's someone I could buy actually challenging for the top title at some point. I think he's got so much style. He looks great. I think he's got a good promo. Obviously, English is like his second language, but he's solid in English as well. And his matches are great. Like, I think you could absolutely put him at the top of the card at some point.
Yeah, I think this Cruiserweight title unification thing is a story that's was booked because they got booked into a corner,
and now needed to happen.
It's organically become a very interesting story. Again, just kayfabe storyline wise, the two champions. It's very classic wrestling that we've seen multiple times. Triple H has tweeted like, "Hey, this is classic old school wrestling here, where we had a champion, something happened, we had to make a new champion, and now the old champions come back." It's classic,
and just actual kind of symmetry. It's pretty much a year.
Right.
Since Devlin had to go back because of the pandemic.
He won it at Worlds Collide, right? Correct? I think so. In the
around then, and then I think he did defend it on TV, and then it was like March 16th, 17th was when everything closed down. So it's been about a year since they started the tournament and stuff, I imagine.
I thought again, I'm just saying what I watched, and both guys sounded good. I love the headbutt. I think maybe we get this as our ladder match, maybe. Unification usually means you grab the titles.
True. Right? Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah,
I kind of just want a one-on-one.
I'd rather them see them actually wrestle. I would imagine Santos wins this, right? I don't know.
I mean, you could go either way. It depends do you want to elevate Santos into a different position after this.
Right.
Might be the way to get it off him. Or you do a quick run and Devlin goes back to the UK, maybe, and you have Escobar win this. Don't know.
Yeah, I will say, I do.
Is Trent Seven going to win the Cruiserweight title?
True. They promo NXT UK. The story here is, it's so weird. The story here is Devlin's getting on a plane and going back. It's obviously pre-taped and everything, but the story is Trent Seven got down to 204 and is having a Cruiserweight title match. So it could be Trent Seven in this slot versus Santos. Stand and deliver, and it could be Trent Seven in his socks as Cruiserweight champion. You know Trent Seven's laughing right now in the position he's in.
You switch the title, put it on Trent. Trent comes over,
beats Santos.
And then weigh-in is he's been in Florida now, so he's gonna be over 205. And it's like, then he's stripped.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
Let's
God.
just make this as convoluted as possible, right?
Yeah, definitely. So that is happening on NXT UK tomorrow. So if you're interested in Devlin versus Trent Seven, but I'd say the most interesting thing out about this whole thing, I really actually really like this, but it made me go, hey, Devlin took a plane over here. Wonder who else was on it.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe we'll talk about someone else in a little bit. We go to backstage. Adam Cole is pissed and says he's going to end Kyle O'Reilly. And that's not undisputed. That is a promise. He's going to end Kyle. End him. I will end you. Hey, we get an announcement for the newest NXT signing. Coming soon, the Warrior of the Sun. Japanese Joshi Perez. Superstar. Saray, coming soon. What do we know a little bit about who used to be known as someone else? Saray? It was a different name.
Sorry, I think, and now it's Saray.
Saray.
Yeah, not a whole lot, to be honest. It's someone I'm definitely... I've heard a lot of buzz about, and I'd like to go back and kind of check out some of her other stuff. She's been signed for quite a while now, over a year now, but obviously with the pandemic and everything, they've not been able to use her at all. So obviously now they've got her over. She's had the official name change, so it is official now, and we're starting to get vignettes. But yeah, I'm excited. She's coming to one of the best women's divisions in the world. So yeah, let's see what she's got.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so pumped for this. I think every time they go to that what is it, is like another Stardom superstar or anywhere, anything related to this Joshi women's wrestling Japan, and it's fire. We see so many talented women on AEW as well, but I'm super excited. I can't wait to I'm gonna even maybe go back into some of her back stuff before WWE here and check her out, because I'm seeing the buzz here for Saray here.
Yeah,
Saray. Yeah. We go to Cameron Grimes, who's been on vacation, because we see some photos of him snorkeling and laying on a beach, clearly photoshopped photos, which he's since tweeted, "Those were not photoshops. Y'all are just sour because your stimulus checks haven't shown up while I'm enjoying my Kiss My Grits money." Cameron Grimes going on vacation while we're all stuck inside. Right?
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't, was he?
I wish he was. I wish he really went to like a beach somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, they were so deliberately like fake, but him laughing always makes me laugh. Just his face, his happy face.
His happy face. We go to Zoe Stark versus Dakota Kai. Zoe Stark, this new wrestler on the scene, had that match with Io Shirai and kind of getting booked pretty common here on NXT, kind of getting a little push here, going up against Dakota, who comes out with Raquel by her side. It starts off pretty technical. There's a series of arm drags, exchange. Dakota comes at her with the face wash in the corner. Stark comes back with a crossbody to the outside. They go to commercial. When we come back, they double clothesline each other. Stark hits a half and half suplex. There's then like a spin heel kick, like on the apron kind of thing. And then she springboards into the ring, but Kai greets her with a super kick. Then the Haluva pump kick for a near fall. There's a bunch of near falls and roll-ups back and forth. Stark hits this crazy knee strike, pop-up knee, and then goes for what like is kind of like the You Can't Escape.
That's what I thought she was going for, yeah.
The rolling senton, but it's stopped. And then Dakota uses the ropes to help hang Stark up and hit the go-to kick and pins Stark. So Kai wins the match here. And there's a little thing after but the match itself was pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it, and I'm happy Dakota Kai won. I was worried that they were gonna just kind of put the rocket to Stark, and I think she's someone that clearly has potential and they see a lot in. But I think these few losses she's had recently has done as much for her as if she was winning these. But Dakota Kai is someone who unfortunately loses quite a lot, and I think is great. So I'm glad she got the win here. Doesn't hurt Stark at all. I thought a pretty good competitive match.
Yeah, I like the back and forth. I'm a big fan of Dakota Kai. I think she's kind of, obviously Raquel's been like the one they're pushing, but it's kind of putting her on the back burner, which really isn't kind of fair considering she's been a staple on this show for quite a while. We don't realize how
she's been there a while.
Yeah, she's been here for a while, and she's been like really helpful to this show. She has little great matches just like this one. But obviously the story is going forward with Raquel. After the match, they taunt Zoe, but Io Shirai comes out for the save. In her hand is a contract, and then shoves it into Raquel, pushes the contract, and walks out. It's basically saying, yo, I want to fight you, and we're gonna fight. So, yeah. And helps Zoe Stark out of here. They clearly have a little bit of a team friendship growing here. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I like that we haven't really seen these two fight yet, Io and Raquel. They've just, over the course of the last year, built both up really well, where I'm looking forward to this match. And I don't think there's a great deal of storytelling you need to particularly do going into it. So this was enough for me here.
I wouldn't mind, like they do fantastic videos and stuff here in WWE NXT, but like covering the history of Io Shirai, this epic reign, beating everyone, the Rhea Ripley, Charlotte stuff, and then the video of Raquel, like to counteract that with her
mirroring
story.
it, everything she's been doing. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like literally the immovable force meets what is it? I always mess that up.
I mean, they've got Evolve footage now, so you could show like Raquel losing in the Mae Young Classic and then going to Evolve and being dominant there, and then coming back onto the NXT scene. You could absolutely build this story, like this matchup, really well without having to do much, running off each other off the road or kidnapping or tarot
Why would anyone
cards
do that?
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, did I mention I like the wrestling parts of the show? Someone in the Twitch chat says they're mad at me because I'm not wearing green. I'm wearing a green hat and a black shirt with green thing on it, so just to make sure he's happy.
It's not blue, is it not?
It's green.
Okay.
It's green. I don't have any green shirts, but I'm going to crack open a Guinness instead.
Right.
So, yeah. Happy St. Patrick's Day. We go to Mackenzie Mitchell, who is, again, celebrating St. Patrick's Day. She's with William Regal, who's trying to question him on the Cruiserweight title situation. And he's like, hey, I can't talk about that because someone runs in and says, hey, Regal, you gotta come quick. It's Adam Cole. He's in trouble. What? Adam Cole fell down a well? Okay. And he runs off, and we're left as we go to break. Like, what do you mean? What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Frantic.
You
have my attention, but I'm a little worried. Obviously, something's happened to Adam Cole. We'll find out more on that later. When we come back, there's a video for MSK and how they will be coming back soon with the hand injury from Wes Lee, but hopefully the tag titles are in their horizon, or a shot at least. We get the Grizzled Young Veterans who sent in a little video here. This was hilarious. It's Zack Gibson cutting a promo with James Drake cutting some of the promo. But as you know, whenever Gibson talks, Drake like bobs his head and mouths the words. He's doing it even in this part, and I howled.
It's
laughing.
funnier because he's just staring right down the lens, I think.
It
was very funny.
Yeah. He says, you guys made the biggest mistake of your life, MSK, when you hurt my hand. So we're gonna get revenge on you. So they're saying that they got an injured hand, you got an injured hand. It's a hand for a hand coming soon. This match is
hand for a hand match.
Yeah.
Cut off your opponent's hand.
Whoa,
Is that what it's gonna be?
That's extreme.
Shatter it.
Shatter it.
Yeah, first one is shatter the hand against the ring steps.
You freeze it first. Oh, shatter like the bones.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Well, they're both healing here. Speaking of healing, Imperium show up, but it's only two of the members. It is Marcel Bartel. Did I say his name
right?
right?
Yep.
Fuck. And
Fabian Eichner. There we go.
I was playing
there
it. I knew it all along. But Champa attacks them here. Now we mentioned there's no Timothy Thatcher. We mentioned that they had to let us know that he was not here and that he was quote unquote attacked or something. And now Wade Barrett is like, yeah, he says he was taken out, but I think he's just busy fishing. And I was like, okay, that's a little odd, but I'm going to let that go and focus on what's happening. So now this tag match is just a one-on-one match. Champa versus Bartel, one-on-one. It's Bartel who grinds down on Champa here, like forearms and just roughing him around, hits a beautiful butterfly suplex, and then flies into a high knee from Champa. But he comes back with his Tree of Woe drop kick, and then turns to the camera at one point, and he's like, you see that? That's your future, Tim. Because he's imagining Tim's watching at home, Thatcher, and says, that's your future, step in line. And then Wade Barrett decides to yet again mention that Timothy Thatcher is not here because he's on a fishing trip.
Yeah.
And I know it's like he's playing this character heel commentator thing, but it's definitely making me go, I don't like that.
I think you can't help but question it, right?
Yeah, it's a strange thing. There's a German suplex exchange here, but Champa gets the upper hand by getting Bartel caught in the ropes and hits the Willow's Bell and pins Bartel here, and then looks at the camera and says, 4? Well, there's 3, and I'm going to go through all of you. So he says he's going to fight all of Imperium and beat them one by one, and he's already beaten one of them. But before we get into the next thing,
Ceno's bringing up that perhaps legit in storyline Thatcher was with Wolf.
Okay.
So maybe it could be a tease of, where were you last week? Maybe he wasn't attacked, and kind of to tease that maybe Thatcher's hanging out with these guys, perhaps.
Just hanging.
I would say Wade, aside from the fishing comments on commentary, did bring up the history a bit more. So did try and fill in some gaps. He was saying about Timothy Thatcher being in Ring Camp, actually name-check Ring Camp,
right,
and stuff. But this... I can't say I've been particularly enjoying this story so far.
Well, never mind that shit, because Imperium's music hits yet again. What's the classical music? It's fantastic.
It's Dvorak, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. The music hits, the lights go out, and when the stage lights up, there is a man standing there. And I mentioned someone may have gotten on a plane and flown over here. That is the case, because it's a returning Walter.
He's back.
Yes, Walter shows up. He comes down, and Imperium beat down on Champa. Walter slaps him up, the chops, and then just flattens him with the Walter powerbomb. He's one of the best power bombs.
Oh, yeah.
Cleans Ciampa's clock here. They all do their pose in sync. Imperium standing tall. But yes, a hot point of this show is, holy shit, Walter's here.
Yeah, I kind of thought this would have been a bit of a bigger reveal.
Yeah.
I think just because I think the story's been a bit messy. It's cool to see Walter back. I like the idea of different combinations you can have here with this Ciampa, Thatcher, Imperium, Walter story. But the story itself is leaving me cold so far.
It's a little weird. Maybe again, we're not sure why people weren't here and what there was missing chess pieces and stuff, but it kind of felt like, again, a disconnect of what's really happening. Like, was there supposed to be Thatcher? Was maybe Thatcher going to align himself with someone at this point? But they decided, let's just do the Walter thing right away. But what this leads to, in my opinion, is Walter versus Ciampa, which sounds great.
Sounds fantastic.
That is a takeover-worthy match. Like, that's got to happen.
Yeah, I can't say it was the first, Walter match or program I'd picture when I thought of him coming over, but I'm for it. I think Ciampa's one of those guys that kind of, since being in the title picture, you kind of worry about a bit, because you go, I don't know if you're going to do anything on the main roster, but it feels you've kind of ran out of stories here. But this does feel fresh, so I'm all for this. Yeah,
tomorrow on NXT UK, Walter's got some speech plan. He's gonna an address. So I wonder if he's like, I don't even want this title anymore. I'm just gonna get rid of it. He's held it for
he did that in Progress.
70.
Yeah, the Atlas title for ages, and was like, I don't want this. I want the world title.
Yeah,
just gave it up.
So maybe that's what he do. Walter looked great.
Don't want this. The UK wrestling scene. You can have your title. Thank you.
Walter looked fantastic.
Yeah.
I want to see him versus so many different people here.
Everyone.
Yeah, this is a guy who is special in the world of pro wrestling. I mentioned I like the wrestling. This is a guy who brings that. And
yes.
I can't wait to see more of this guy on this show. And if his first match is a takeover match with Ciampa, that's going to be a hard-hitting, gritty, choppy, bloody match. And I'm all for it. So stand and deliver, fellas. We go to William Regal, who's now off-road somewhere near the CWC. And I mean off-road because there's a bunch of cars, cop cars, and I feel like we should cue the Bad Boys Inner Circle cops intro, because that's what this felt like. Kyle O'Reilly is being arrested and put into the back of a cop car, while Adam Cole is also arrested. William Regal shows up and says, "What the hell's going on?" And Cole is screaming, "Well, Kyle tried to run me off the road." And the cops are all here. They're getting arrested, and Regal's just screaming. The police are trying to hold him back, and Kyle's already in the back seat of he's being put in the back seat, and they're screaming at each other, and it's gone too far. And it just felt like this really weird.
So, someone in the Twitch room suggested, and I think they might be right. Obviously, Kyle took a lot of time off because he's diabetic, I believe, and was worried, like a lot of people were that had time off, that it wasn't a safe enough place yet, that it wasn't being taken seriously. And obviously they've got a mask mandate there and stuff like that in WWE, and he's come back. With this outbreak, perhaps he didn't feel comfortable being there tonight, and therefore that's why he filmed this in his car away from everyone. The only guy who was really dealing with was that cop who was in a mask. Perhaps that's a way that they kind of compromise in keeping the story going, the story fresh, and him not actually being there in the arena.
100%. They
kind of makes it, because this did feel odd. It did feel odd. Like, wait, we're not going to see him run him off the road, or wouldn't you do something else? It seemed odd, but I think that could be because we only are a few weeks away now at this point, so perhaps that was it.
You remember when Rikishi did it for The Rock?
Oh yeah,
and he hit Stone Cold with his car. What year was that? 1999, 2000,
yeah.
Something. They showed it. They showed that. They can't show any. You couldn't show some Cinematch style run off the road thing. What do you mean ran him off the road? You got to show me something. This was so weird.
Yeah, I think. But on the other hand, this is outside. Like, this wasn't even in the car park, was it? This was kind of on the road.
Yeah, so
like, why would a camera capture it?
Why would there be a camera, and why would anyone go?
Well, there wasn't a camera.
Well, like the camera following Regal.
Yeah, because someone said shit's going on outside. Come with us.
So then Regal, like, first of all, if the cops are in this incident, why would they go? Hold on, we can't arrest you yet. We got to get. We
need your boss. We
need
Dad.
Your boss.
We need
that
Dad.
Has nothing to do with this because it's not on the property. If that was the case, it just felt like this was really put together.
That
really
being
quickly.
said, okay, if we take like this as shoot,
yeah,
they know a wrestling show goes on at Full Sail every week, right?
Yeah.
They know wrestlers do some crazy stunts. The police might want to check, hey, is this just kayfabe or is this shoot right here?
Right.
Who's the boss around here? Because they know Full Sail. They know shit happens in the parking lot.
We gotta...
Oh, is it them wrestlers again? Yeah, someone just got ran off the road. Yeah, but is it actually a crime or is it just wrestlers being wrestlers, you know?
We got a 138 at the Capitol Wrestling Center parking lot. Is that the Full Sail parking lot? No, it's not. It's the new place. I just think it's a little strange that, like, out of all the stories that we could pick to elevate this feud, to get us heated about Kyle and Cole, this is how you do it. It's just weird. I'm already sold on the match. I'm going to watch the hell out of it. I have
the feeling they were just throwing a load of curveballs this week.
I guess so. I found it weird. It almost reminded me of the Ronda Rousey, Charlotte, Becky Lynch cop thing. And I thought that was way better.
Oh, yeah.
That was sick.
Yeah.
That was lit.
Charlotte kicked a window open. Yeah.
Kicked her in the head. And this is just, there's no contact. They're just like, they're whatever. I think you could have done this differently. You could have had saying, hey, Kyle's not here because I've banned him. Regal's like, look, he's hurt. He's not allowed to be here. And then maybe Roddy could have came out. Well, maybe fucking Roddy wasn't allowed to come out either. But you could have had Adam Cole beat the hell out of Roddy. You could have had something else to further the story of wanting to see these two fight. And pretending that a guy ran the other guy off a road is not something I'm buying. It's not doing it for me.
That's fair.
It made me laugh. It made me go, really? Like, you could have gave me 5 minutes. I'll come up with 5 different stories that would make more sense than this.
Yeah.
Out of all the things, the guy tried to run me off the road. They're better than this. I'm still excited for the match, but this is not really an exciting WrestleMania Takeover Week worthy story.
No, the match does feel, I think Creative has kind of let this match down a bit because it writes itself. It
does, and they're not.
And I can't say I'm particularly invested anymore.
It's like the way it was shot was like Cops.
Yeah,
it was totally like filmed like behind Regal.
But it was meant to. I would say, to give them credit, it didn't have that WWE production feel, and I think that's what they were going for, to make it feel exactly more like Cops, more like something that has actually happened and we're capturing right now, rather than a glossy shot of a car running and a stuntman flipping the car and cameras just happen to be there. I think it's more to be like, no, this is actual Adam and Kyle just like fucking ran him off the road. And
these were the same cops that were in the Johnny Gargano like motorcade thing, like when they got the celebration. It's the same cops with the I know it's St. Patty's Day, but why were the cops' lights green? They're clearly just security people.
Right.
They're not actually Florida cops. Whatever. It was weird. I feel like
I would hope it's not actually Florida cops. I would hope they're doing better shit.
No, you know what I mean. Like I feel like maybe you could have. Are they going to go in a Cinematch? Are these guys going to get? Are we going to see them in prison next week?
Well, I think Regal's announcing the stipulation next week.
Prison.
That's what he made it sound like.
Prison break match.
I don't think it'll be cinematic.
It better not be.
Why would you do a Cinematch with these two?
Come on. They're arrested.
No.
In jail.
No, it'll be some sort of gimmick. It'll be a street fight or something.
Why was Cole arrested if he was the one who was run off the road?
Because he's a dick.
But the cops don't know that.
I don't know. He might have been Larry.
He might have been Larry?
Larry to the cops.
Like mean?
Yeah. Like giving some attitude and then they go, right, well, now I'm arresting you as well.
I
don't know. Cops, they do what they want.
Yeah, they do. We go to LA Knight, who is backstage. He's drinking a big water jug, like my friend Scrump does. And he says, tonight, you're always looking for a word, but everybody's talking about me, LA Knight, with my debut here in NXT, in the ring, next. And as he's walking out of his locker room, we see Bronson Reed in the background kind of peeking, and then goes into LA Knight's dressing room. So what could happen with that? We go to commercial. Now, I know we're watching now on Sportsnet because Canada now officially airs NXT, so we can watch it here in Canada. Yay, us here. Not only was one of my buddies, Joey Harlem, in one of these new mortgage commercials with Snow and Former playing, but there was also a commercial for DQ, Dairy Queen, with Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae talking about how important family is and how food brings them together, and the food that brings them together is chicken nuggies and fries.
Good for them getting a commercial. Honestly, this is probably really good money.
I hope so. It was really weird considering you're telling me these are bad people, and then here I'm like, oh, these guys are such sweethearts.
Yeah.
Look at them eating sundaes and chicken nuggies and stuff. It's just weird. I don't know if this aired. It must have aired. It was part of the show. But first, also, NXT is just a turncoat. 1 week, Shotzi's talking about Burger King. Next week, Garganos are talking about DQ. What's going on?
Tell you what no one's having. Big Show burgers.
Yeah, so the Big Show says he had an idea.
He had an idea for Big Show burgers, and they were like, oh yeah, you want to make Big Show burgers? It's going to be 7 figures to use like the Big Show name or something like that.
What?
This was when he was with them.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, like, just make burgers, and then when it sounded like he wanted to do what ODB does. And then it's like fan access, and you come to Big Show and you get a Big Show burger.
Be lit.
And all this. Yeah.
It's like a food truck.
But what could have been?
The Big Show burgers.
Should have a show. Big Show, ODB, and Jon Favreau just go around in a food truck.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be really good, I think.
I feel like just Favreau with anyone in a food truck.
Yeah.
If you've seen the movie Chef, fantastic. So I see in the chat here, Hackman says, clearly this was a sponsor for the Johnny Gargano's upcoming No DQ match. Clearly, DQ, no DQ.
Sino Evil said he should now call them not Big Show burgers, but White Castle.
Have you ever had White Castle?
I have, yeah.
What are your thoughts?
It's not great.
We don't have it here in Canada, but part of me is thankful.
I think I had White Castle coming back from Progress in New Orleans.
Okay.
It was a lot like
you gotta get it drunk.
That venue was like far away, and I'm pretty sure I had a White Castle there.
It's the little burgers.
Was that Crystals? It's
Crystals?
another, yeah, Crystal. I think that was Crystals.
White
Terrible.
Castle is like the little tiny little burgers that you instantly regret. Like right away. Like right away.
The place never looks clean either. You
I've
go
been to
in,
one-
and
yeah.
you go into some McDonald's now, and it's like the fucking Apple store. It's like so clean and bright with screens everywhere.
McCafe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
With the Szechuan McChicken, still haven't had. But I sorry to go back to White Castle, but I've been to one in Vegas, and then I've been to one in 8 Mile Road in Detroit. Both look not great.
No.
Not great condition.
No.
Yeah. We need White Castle commercials in our wrestling. We go to LA Knight, who clearly does not eat at White Castle or DQ, but he is going to eat his competition when he goes up against August Gray. Remember him? Retro Gray?
Yep.
What's his name? Retro
Anthony Green.
Anthony Green, August Gray. He changed from one color to another. And he's going up against LA Knight, who hits August with a huge like pop-up power slam, Davey Boy style. As he's beating down on August in this match, Bronson Reed comes out on the entrance ramp with LA Knight's blue leather jacket and does the classic Chris Farley, puts it on, fat guy in a little suit, or as he said, thick boy in a little suit, rips the coat into pieces from putting it on. I hope that actually isn't Gucci. This distracts LA Knight, who gets rolled up from August Gray for a 2 count. August hits him with a jawbreaker, goes for a flying crossbody but misses. LA Knight hits him with a cravat into like a knee lift, and then the like cravat driver, the cutter driver, if you will, the party foul from older wrestler Adam Rose.
Adam Rose.
Yeah. And LA Knight pins Gray and wins his debut match, but he is fuming about his Gucci jacket.
Okay, this guy's come in. He's got a lot of confidence. He's been running his mouth. Has he done enough to warrant someone taking his jacket and ripping it up? It seemed a bit much.
He cost Bronson the match. He interfered in Bronson's match.
Fair enough. I forgot about that.
I'm just thinking, you've been walking around with this blue jacket for a few weeks, and now you have your first match. Wouldn't you wear that jacket?
Well, wouldn't you wear blue?
He wasn't wearing blue.
His whole like lighting's blue, his logo's blue, he's got a blue jacket, and now he's coming out in red trunks.
Yeah, it was a choice. So clearly this is setting up LA Knight, Bronson Reed.
Not much of a match here, but I thought some of the moves Knight looked good. Looked good. Intrigued by him versus Bronson, because I think two guys who seem to have a future in the company, and Bronson's been on a bit of a steady push, I'd say. So intrigued by the match.
I just liked fat guy in a little coat.
Sure.
I
still think it was mean
to rip against his jacket. Yeah, it's pretty mean.
Yeah.
What if it was Gucci? It'd be pretty expensive.
Well, whatever. He obviously likes the jacket, even if it was, just $5 from Old Navy or something. Like, it's still his jacket. It doesn't deserve to be ripped up. If you went to one of my jackets, is this Gucci? No, rip. I'd still be pretty mad.
Well, you had to have interfered in my match.
True.
To piss me off.
Well, wait, see
ya.
Up Next Mania.
You forgot about it again.
I just think it's when it comes to wrestling, you interfere in people's matches. That's part of the game. I don't think you deserve having your clothes ripped up. I don't think he's done enough yet, is what I'm saying.
Well, now the feud's
it's
going to
like
be
when what was that on AEW? Best Friends and Proud and Powerful.
Yeah.
When 1 week it was like here, and then 1 week Proud and Powerful just set fire to like all their clothes.
They took their gear and put it in the showers and poured bleach and lit it on fire or something. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is a way to get at your opponent. Like,
I mean, it would have annoyed me.
You won't be able to wear your nice gear this week because I bleached it and ripped it. So next week, LA Knight's going to be like,
LA Knight will have the Godzilla.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's going to come out with that. He's like, I'll show you. I got yours. I'm wearing your Godzilla.
It's like, nah, mate, the internet made fun of me weeks ago. I haven't used it since.
I don't wear that anymore. So the Battle of the Gear.
Yeah.
We'll see this probably next week.
Fair enough. No, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. LA Knight looked fun. Again, it wasn't much of a match, but the Power Slam looked good. I like that. And
the moves he hit looked good, I thought, yeah.
Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez backstage. They're talking about how, tonight we won this match. Dakota won our match, but we still lost the tag titles, and we need to prove again to everyone that we run this place. But Raquel's kind of looking at this contract like, yeah, I'll prove to everyone because I'm going to face Io Shirai. We have...
Yeah, Dakota Raquel didn't actually seem too interested in the match.
Right.
So I was wondering if this was maybe the first tease of a bit of dissension between the two, because all Raquel seemed focused on was the match with Io, with the contract she has. But Dakota was like, I need this for me. We've lost 2 of our last tag matches. Come on, let's get this win. So I wonder if that's the start of the rift between those two.
Raquel's just going to kick her to the curb.
Maybe.
I kind of hope that Raquel's just like, hey, we can still be friends and everything, but I need to have this match.
Yeah, I don't think you do any sort of turn until after the EO match, but I felt that was a little seed this week.
Yeah. We have Xia Li, who tells us, she's yelling at us, really, here in this like video here, and she mentions that the Resistance will not be tolerated. Clearly, she's not a fan of the Resistance or the latest Star Wars trilogy. She says obstacles will be removed, and we see is it Tian Sha, the group here?
Yep.
Boa, Xia, and Mei Ying. So I'm assuming at the takeover, we said this is like the last takeover, we finally get more of maybe what's going on here with the Mei Ying stuff. So maybe more Xia Li next.
This, I didn't like this, to be honest. Just the lines were it became generic. Yeah. And I think everything's been quite creative with this.
Just air another one of those.
It was essentially
videos.
Resistance is futile.
Yeah.
And obstacles will be obliterated. It just seemed very generic wrestler, say a lot of words without saying anything, which I think's a shame because I think they've built this quite nicely.
William Regal, after his night he's been having, says, hey, hopefully the police drop the charges to Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, and we'll have some updates on what's going on next week and for what's going to happen at TakeOver. Stand and deliver. So is William Regal going to sweet talk the cops, the Super Troopers, to not lay any charges?
Oh yeah, I mean they're not going to be in prison, are they? They're both going to be available for TakeOver, whether the charges are dropped or not.
Yeah,
they'll spend a night in the cell.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see like behind the scenes of what's going on here. And Bobby's going to try to break Kyle out. Michael Schofield it.
I think Bobby's probably trying to break other people out. I don't know. I don't know what Bobby's up to. Drake wasn't on the show either tonight, was he?
Yeah. Nia Jackson.
Anyway.
She's on the other show.
Boy. Have you seen the South Park vaccine special?
No, I haven't, no.
It's worth watching. It's worth watching.
Do they mention Oprah eating babies?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mate, that's exactly what it's about. A lot of your favorite NXT people in this South Park episode for sure.
Yeah. We go to our main event. The NXT Tag Team titles on the line. Karrion Kross and Finn Balor, the Unlikely Alliance, both get entrances, but you know who doesn't? The champions in this title match, who are just looking like complete stooges in the middle of the ring waiting. Yes, Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan are the tag team champions, and they didn't get an entrance. That's this. They looked. I instantly was like, I don't think you can come back from this, even if you win this match.
Yeah, it looked bad. It made them feel so second rate here, I think.
Yeah, I was instantly kind of taken aback. Another thing that really has affected me this week is, have you seen Oney Lorcan's tweet?
I did, yeah. Someone paid him a lot of money to stop using caps.
He no longer tweets in all capitals.
He has said that before. He's a bit Brandon from New Jersey on Twitter. He's retired from using capitals before.
No, he's not as whiny.
And I love Brandon, but
I retire. All right, man. Oney says did Pat McAfee pay him off?
I don't know.
Who does he mean someone paid him to not
Someone
tweet?
needs to pay him more.
What is he talking about?
Let's start a Kickstarter, a GoFundMe to get Oney to use caps again.
It's a whole QAnon right there. Why isn't he tweeting in all capitals? That's your gimmick. Why aren't you doing it? We have Karrion Kross, who starts off this match with Danny Burch, and Kross is just beating down on Danny Burch here. He's throwing him around, slapping him up. It's a bear hug. And then something kind of happens where it looks like Danny Burch is injured here. It looks like I don't know if it was something from taking a bump too hard, bump the wrong way, or if it was something to do with
it was like his
breathing,
shoulder or
I'm
his
not sure.
tricep or something, yeah.
It got a little choppy here because it kind of seemed like they weren't sure what was really going on. So they definitely moved the focus with the cameras away from Danny Burch.
Yeah, they went to commercial break. There was kind of a lot of standing around as they were checking on Danny, so it did seem like a legit injury of some sort. And then we went to commercials, but afterwards, yeah, Danny was at ringside, but just the way the camera was, you couldn't really see the heel corner, like where the tag rope is or anything. It was very much focusing on the ring and whoever was stood in like Cross or Finn's position.
And then they're going to commercial break, which didn't seem like they were planning on doing right away anyways. And it's just this awkward like stare down between Cross and Finn, but it looked like they weren't sure what was going on. And then they go to commercial, but when we come back, it's now Oni who's tagged into the match, and he's fighting Finn. Finn lights him up with a series of chops, drops him down for the standing mushroom stomp to the midsection. And then it kind of shows Danny Burch is on the outside being tended to by like some like of the WWE doctors and stuff. And they don't mention him ever again. He's taken away because they start fighting on the outside, and Danny Burch and these doctors are gone. Danny's just removed from this match, but they don't tell us what's going on. And then on the outside, Finn runs and does the John Woo dropkick into Oni Lorcan, sending him into Scarlet, which pisses off his partner, Karrion Kross, who then blindsides Finn and attacks him. What? Tag team partners that don't get along. Kross beats him up, slams him into the turnbuckle, the post, throws him back into the ring, and Oni hits him with a running uppercut, kind of blockbuster style, and pins Finn Balor. Oni has pinned the NXT World Champ.
Yeah.
And the Danny and Oni retain. But kind of before we get into what happens after, again, we record this right after NXT airs, and I haven't seen quite too many moves here. But it looked like people are saying in the chat it was something to do with some sort of double suplex there. I'm not sure what quite happened, and at this time, we're not sure if. I don't think this is a work because they clearly...
No.
It was the way they were filming it that definitely made me seem like something was wrong.
Look, obviously, they've got their match planned out, and it was quite early on in the match that this happened. This wasn't like that Imperium Undisputed Era match where it almost continued sort of seamlessly, or when we've seen Roddy fill in before. Unfortunately, I did think all three guys looked kind of lost there. Obviously, Oni's now got to work the rest of the match. I don't know if they didn't bring it up too much with Danny, because Danny and Oni are the heels, and they didn't want to seem like... Because Oni automatically becomes a babyface then, right? It's him against your two champion contenders.
Right.
And you're on your own. That automatically babyfaces you, no matter what your character is. And I think maybe they were trying to not draw attention to Danny because of that dynamic, but it just made the whole thing kind of fell apart a bit for me. They just all looked a bit lost, and understandably so, but we've seen people deal with this a bit better, I would say.
I'm just searching Danny Burch into Twitter, and it seems some people are saying that he's got a possible separated shoulder, allegedly. Like, that's what some people are saying. So that could be what had happened to him during this match, and I hope Danny Boy is all right. Shout out Danny Burch.
Yeah, I hope he's all right, but like
this match, though.
What a whimper. I think this really... Just the whole booking of your tag champs this week made them look like chumps. Just even Danny, in the few seconds he was in the match, looking scared, going up against Cross, it just makes your tag champions look like jokes. They've been champions for a while now at this point.
Yeah.
They've been in a War Games match, you know? You shouldn't be too scared of this Cross guy. I know he's your main eventer and you're trying to build him up, but... this really didn't work for me at all.
No,
and then
it
just seemed so
apart.
generic with the bumping into Scarlett and the brawling after.
So you're saying it felt like a WWE act, because that's
it felt. It felt paint by numbers.
I don't want to be this guy, but I'll be devil's advocate here. The last time people were talking about it was mentioned in Finn Balor's promo, kind of briefly, Karrion Kross with his injury, the match with Keith Lee. Then we have injuries in this match. It's kind of like, hey, what's going on? And of course they happen and stuff. I'm just
injuries
like,
happen, but
it's like, hey, what's going on?
He hasn't impressed me yet. No, like injuries aside, I've not been impressed with Karrion Kross. And I did think out of the three, he looked, even just on the apron, he looked completely lost when Danny was taken out.
I want to see Kross get so bad. So I want to see Kross and Scarlett like improve and go forward. And unfortunately, to me, they look like something that belongs in your Fiend kind of level of territory. And the wrestling has not hit for me. And I'll keep saying I like the wrestling. I like the in-ring stuff, bell to bell. But Kross has not brought any of that whatsoever.
I feel Raw would actually be the right place for him, because it seems to be at the moment you've got Raw, which is made up of your kind of your big meaty lads slapping each other around. You've got your obviously Drews, Sheamus, Lashley's. You got your Keith Lees, even Riddle. I put in that. It's got a lot of big guys who can go on Raw, and I think he'd suit that perfectly. And then on SmackDown, you've got more of your kind of like old ex Ring of Honor technical, like your Cesaro's, your Daniel Bryans, your Seth Rollins. It seems more like the wrestling show, but a little older, you know. And then you've got your NXT, which has always been your slightly kind of smaller guys, your faster workers, your epic New Japan style matches, perhaps. He doesn't fit in here.
After the match, Cross again, attacks Finn Balor. He then locks Finn. He hits the Doomsday on Oni Lorcan as well. He's like, get out of here, Oni. Don't care. Again, who cares about the tag champs is what they're telling us like 6 times tonight. They get the Oni out of the ring, even though Oni retained. He beats down on Finn Balor. Cross puts Finn in the cross jacket, chokes him out, but Scarlett stops him. She's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then gets Finn to his feet, kind of putting him in a daze, distracting him, which allows Cross to hit him with this forearm to the back of the head, leveling him out. And then they say, you cannot escape fate, as we go off the air with Cross standing tall over Finn. The forearm still looks weak. It still looks weak.
It looks like you're shoving someone in the back of the head.
I keep telling myself, Cross, I know you got something. I know there's something there. I think we can get it out of you. But so far, nothing's hitting for me on this. But I still feel like maybe there's a chance for him, but it's not doing it for me. I will say that without them announcing any sort of double... I know there's 2 nights of TakeOver, one on USA and one on the Peacock. But the chance of this 2 title night thing against possibly seeing Finn fight 2 people 2 nights in a row, doesn't seem like it's happening. No. And I'm instantly like, well, this is our main event, because that doesn't really... It makes sense storyline wise. Both guys were injured and there's been injuries and the title's been flopped around and Finn's been holding it, and on this crazy run, Karrion Kross does deserve his title shot back. But from what we've seen so far, I'd much rather just go, let's just finish.
I think this could be the TV title match, and I think you might have Cole and Kyle for the network, Peacock. Whatever.
That's what shows you the title match is free on TV.
Maybe.
And Cross loses and goes to Raw.
Yeah. I've been pretty high on NXT recently, but whether this was because of the lack of people there or what, there was something in the air tonight. Nothing really clicked for me. I didn't think it was a very good show. Saying something was in the air tonight at NXT was not the right saying. And I don't think... Normally, there's at least one match I'd come away from and be like, yeah, slightly weak show, but the main event this week. There wasn't anything.
I didn't really like this show.
No, I didn't think it was a good show tonight.
It's instantly WrestleMania season. Give me the green light. And it's not that hard to put the things into place. And I feel like it was just awkward. It was clunky. It was like all over the place. Like not sure really what they're doing, but they're doing it. And they're going forward.
I think they were just dealt a bad hand this week. Didn't play particularly well with that hand.
Right. They made it out.
They made it out, though.
They broke even.
Yeah, just about. Just like me. Shall we go to some feedback?
Yes, that's what we thought of NXT. Overall, kind of a little less than in the middle show for me, but let's go to some feedback. Forum.postwrestling.com.
We go to Charbel. The chosen one
He's back.
Is no more, he says. Why? Make place for good Charbel. Yes, listen to our Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse review.
Can I say, Charbel, this guy is in Quebec somewhere. He is our biggest fan here. He's been asking us to do a Patreon before we even dreamed of doing a Patreon. And
before we even knew each other. Some guy, Charbel, was like, you should do a Patreon.
He's like, you guys should be friends. Charbel is one of our biggest supporters. He's a world champ, and we've done shows with him before, but just last week, he was on an Up Yours that we do on the Patreon, and he chose Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse that we did a review of. And Charbel kind of talks about his past year of dealing with COVID, being a family man in the restaurant industry and stuff, and that was one of my favorite shows that we've ever done. And it was with this guy, Charbel. I love Charbel.
Wonderful guy.
He makes us be better people. He makes us be heroes. And he makes us continue to do this show.
Absolutely.
100%. And that's a shoot, brother.
Thank you, Charbel.
Good Charbel.
Good Charbel, he asks, who is Saray? I already love her and she gives me huge Kyrie vibes. I just can't wait to see her. I'm really happy to see LA Knight last night. Sorry, excuse me. I'm really happy to see LA Knight this week, but I'm not sure NXT is the best place for him. I think the next takeover has a huge potential to be the best card yet, but with 2 nights, I guess it will be bring the excitement down because I see the card shaping up and I can't see being excited for some of the matches knowing they will probably have 11 over the 2 nights, but time will tell. I hope Escobar destroys Devlin. Escobar is putting the title over like no other cruiserweight ever did. Question of the week. If he loses, does he go up? No, I see Escobar staying and maybe being in a different like North American division, perhaps, something like that.
Yeah, definitely. We go to Mystery, who says, Hiya, Saray debuting soon is great. Io Raquel is going to be good, but I can't shake the feeling that Io is retaining with Dakota being insistent that her and Raquel stick together. If they don't split next week, then I feel like Io is retaining with Raquel turning on Dakota after it. Great, they took out 2 steps backwards with Cross. Awful. Question of the week. What do you guys think of Asuka going Japanese History X on Shayna on Raw this Monday? What was the curb stomp?
I can't. We watched it. I can't even remember.
It reminded me of Shawn Spears and Sammy Guevara from last week.
Right.
The chair. Not quite Edward Norton.
You know, like there is an Asuka match. Like I know you're not into Shayna, but I am interested in a proper Asuka Shayna match at some point. I don't know why they've had these throwaway matches on Raw because I think that's something you can easily build up. They're the 2 most dominant champions in NXT history. And I think they actually have pretty good chemistry together as well. I don't like what they've had so far. But You can build it up. You can always do it again. We go to Fire Frank, who says, shout out Cameron Grimes on vacation. Takeover build moving along quite well. Io coming out and shoving the contract in Raquel's face was so cool. Obviously, the show had to be rebooked a bit, but it wasn't a complete mess to me outside of some weirdness. The biggest news of the night had to be the return of Walter. Definitely looking forward to him versus Champa, or any various combinations with him we can think of. Knight got his first win. Thankfully, the distraction via Fat Guy in a little coat was just to further the feud with him and Reed. Glad to see Reed possibly getting a takeover match out of this. Kyle and Adam proving the reputation of the NXT parking lot. Stark looked good in defeat. Main event was okay. The injury threw it off. But just to further the title match build, which is fine, I guess. Show definitely was hurt by the absences, but overall, I'd call it a solid 6.5 out of 10. Bowls of Lucky Charms knockoff cereal. Shout out Leprechaun.
Leprechaun. We go to B from New York. A good show with the best part being the confirmation of Walter's return to America. Unless you're Vic Joseph and you treat this shocking return like it's nothing. Yeah, maybe that's...
Yeah, it was underwhelming. There wasn't a, oh my, or anything.
You know how like when Zack Ryder showed up at Impact and they lost...
Holy shit!
They're like, oh my god.
What?
Zack Ryder?
Macadona? What?
Vic Joseph doesn't know wrestling moves, and Vic Joseph doesn't know Walter, is what I'm saying, I think. Let me go back from B from New York, who says, not to always do the Vic versus Morrow thing, because I like Vic, but that's a moment that deserves an exciting sell, and this continues to be one of his major struggles as the lead announcer, and major juxtaposition to show how the job was previously handled. Hopefully he gets a little better at that. Either way, Walter Ciampa should be a great match, and the 2-night card is really developing. Hopefully with the 2 nights, they save a little room for some of their up-and-coming talent that haven't gotten a lot of experience on TakeOver, as it should be a great week to get some shine.
I would say, with the calls, I know sometimes people worry that, it could seem a bit over the top, and that was definitely a criticism that Morrow had. And we're joking about Matt Stryker, but Sino and I both said they did a recap video at the beginning of Impact yesterday for Sacrifice, and they made it look like the most epic show ever. And because they've got these calls, which, they're quite over the top at the time, but when you see that highlight package, you go, wow, that looked like a great show. And if you're building this package for Volta versus Ciampa or whatever, you've got his big return, and you go, it's Volta.
Hey, it's Walter.
He's back. The NXT UK champion's back. It's like, come on, I agree with you.
Bigger, yeah.
We go to Magan, who says a few musings from an episode rocked by COVID. Lorcan Birch versus Cross Balor telegraphed no title change. MSK are owed a title match. The Dusty Cup isn't a joke. Yeah, I mean, he's injured, so they'll still get that title shot, I'm sure. Dakota Kai and Zoe Stark had a very good match. Stark has a lot of upside. The Cruiserweight unification match was a long time coming. Escobar's season ain't ending yet. Do I sense dissension between Dakota Kai and Raquel? Volta hopping the Atlantic to hit Champa with the hand of God was a big surprise. Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly continue to tell a hell of a story. Sure, the NXT title match will be the main event of TakeOver, but this will overshadow both nights, mark my words. P.S. The roster, some of them anyway, need to stop being careless about COVID this close to TakeOver.
Yes, then we go to...
Or just in general, at any time, you know?
Yeah, definitely. We go to Alex K from Toronto. Hey guys, an okay episode of NXT that definitely moved along, although makes it apparent they are trying to stretch things out. I was left with 3 burning questions. Is Teddy Long a guest GM of NXT, since I don't think there has ever been an NXT that had more tag team match or singles matches lead to tag team matches? Holla, holla, holla. Number 2, Cole versus O'Reilly seemed to have missed a stop between singles match with outside interference in a fight pit match. Time to get it out of mothballs. Number 3, NXT seems to give us matches without defining who we should cheer for and who to boo. Example, Devlin and Santos. Not sure I should cheer for. The loudmouth claiming he's the only champ, or the other loudmouth who has 2 lackeys doing his dirty work. That headbutt and the Devlin inside did great, make for great visual for the match. Stay safe.
And finally we go to Jesse from the Six, who says, Happy St. Patrick's Day, lads. I liked Birch's mod t-shirt. I also like your shirt, Davey. I'm drinking Guinness right now. Take care. Well, thank you, Jesse. And just for you, I read it today.
Yeah. You know, we thought all the times you write in, Jesse, that we thought maybe we'd let David write.
Yeah,
And it
the
was
short
the shortest
one. With no big words.
Hey, thank you guys for listening to us talk about NXT here tonight. We talk about AEW as well. Every Thursday we record BD Elite. It's on this very feed. So go and listen to that as well. We'll be definitely talking about the Lights Out match. Women main eventing AEW. I'll say it again. I've said it before. NXT's been on quite a little roll lately. Obviously tonight had some things up against them that maybe kind of affected this show. If I wasn't doing the show, I would have definitely have tuned into AEW, I think. I had to see Sting talk.
I'd have probably watched NXT this week, I think.
I feel like I would have wanted to see the main event, the anything. You just put St. Patrick's Day on the name and made me go, yeah, I'll watch that.
Nothing was particularly hyped up on either show this week. I am looking forward to watching AEW, but I can't say it was enough to break my routine of watching NXT.
Right. I mean, we always do.
Show aside,
Yeah,
I think, there wasn't enough this week. But we'll talk all about that tomorrow.
Yes, listen to Deep Impact as well. Davey reviewing Impact for as long as it remains on Tuesdays. I mean, they'll stay on Tuesdays, but we're not sure if NXT will be taking over our Tuesday night slot. So,
like to find out soon.
Yeah, I need to tell my boss at my shoot job. So listen to all the shows we do. Shot in the Dark with John Cena. And again, if you want to support us, patreon.com/upnext. $5 a month. North American tier gets you access to all the shows we've been hyping up and everything in the back catalog, including this Leprechaun review, the Super J Cup 94, best matches ever, all the stuff, all the shows, so many podcasts.
And let's finish with some thank yous to some of our patrons who keep this show free for us each and every week. I'd like to say a big, big thank you to Kieran Joyce.
Hey, thank you, Kieran Joyce. Shout out Kieran Joyce. And shout out to Beers This. This is someone's name.
Beers This.
Beers This.
On St. Paddy's
Shout
Day
out
as well.
Beers.
Shout out to Cody Lattonville. Thank you so much.
That is one of my personal friends.
Oh, thank you, Cody.
He loves the show.
I love him.
He's a great guy. We also need to shout out Jose Aguilera.
Oh yeah, new world champion.
World champ.
Who picked Glenn Ross for us to watch. And I know you haven't seen it. No. And you're in for a treat.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Thank you to Spells Dinkle.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Dinkle. And thank you to Thomas Mulligan. Shout out, Thomas Mulligan.
Yeah, we'll be talking to him this weekend with NXT TakeOver London. Thank you, Thomas, for being a world champ.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex Woods.
Shout out to Nick Romano.
A big thank you to Grapple Spotlight's JP.
Yes, Mr. TNA.
Yeah.
JP. And shout out to Jamie Young as well. Thank you all. These are some patrons that we shout out every week when you guys sign up, but we appreciate you. Patreon is how we keep the lights on here, especially in the crazy pandemic and all this stuff. We just podcast a whole lot. We go on Twitch, we podcast, we do all the things, and we appreciate you. So give us a follow on the Twitter and Instagram as well, at upNXT Podcast, for all the updates of all the shows, when we're going live, and just little things here and there, including John Cena's Tony Khan Curb Your Enthusiasm.
It's wonderful.
Yeah,
it's great.
And all this stuff. So join us, Fastlane Watch Along. And I mentioned Post Wrestling Podcast Day, April 3rd. Just for any people who are thinking about signing up for Patreon, well, come April, WrestleMania is happening. It's also our 3-year anniversary.
It is.
upNXT turns 3. So on night 1 of WrestleMania, before the show, we will be doing an upNXT WrestleMania tailgate live with all our patrons. Will be invited via Zoom. We're gonna hang out. We did one on the SummerSlam and it was wild. Things got
it was
crazy. Great. Things got nuts.
I'm not planning anything this time round because last time was. I'll just let Charbel lead and talk about Pokemon or something again.
And people will start cooking chicken, bring their kids, get their cats.
Wonderful.
It was crazy.
It was great.
So we will be doing a WrestleMania night 1 before, the tailgate to Mania, and then a watch along as well. So anyone can join us for the watch along on the Twitch. But if you're a patron, definitely, because we have some crazy stuff lined up for April. But some of the stuff we've been putting out here on March have been so much fun. So appreciate everyone listening and supporting us here. And I myself, Braden Harrington. You can find me Twitter and Instagram at TheBrady.
And you can find me at Davey Portman.
The world is a crazy, twisted place lately, and sometimes waking up to some of the news can really put me in a sour mood. And I want to say, stop the Asian hate. And you know what I'm talking about. Some of the stuff that's been going on in Atlanta really turned my stomach this morning, so I had to kind of end the show with that. So thank you. Take care. Be safe. And when I say be safe, I mean be safe.
Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking these things as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.